health advocates. Tonight we're going to talk about what is leaky skin. Many of you may have seen the title we posted a few minutes ago and we said, wow, what is this? Look, I'll give you a heads up. Leaky skin means leaky gut. And many of you heard of leaky gut, and that means when your tummy's not optimal, I mean your good gut health isn't great. So what are the symptoms of leaky skin? Well, basically it's dermatitis. Dermatitis can lead to acne and rosacea and all those other things, and we apologise for that intervention there. Okay, let's talk about it. The first goes to, when I see someone with leaky skin, is I want to actually address why they got the leaky skin. And when I said leaky skin is heavily connected with leaky gut. So what is the main two there? It's a probiotic. I think what I love about Dr. Bowers in New York City, is a leading dermatologist, has done extensive research into the beneficial effects of probiotics and good skin in reducing acne, in reducing rosacea, and reducing recurring dermatitis. So we must look at the probiotic you're on. Okay, there's many different probiotics out there, and even her study says every time a new strain comes out, they do a trial and it shows some benefit. So what's the easiest thing to say? Well, I would say grab a multi-combinational probiotic, but make sure it's high strength. And what does that mean? At least 40 billion of collected bacteria. How often do I take it? Well, you take it as often as you have a stool each day. So it'd be between 1 and 2 or maybe 3 probiotics a day. So that's about your probiotics. What else does a probiotic do? Okay, the first thing it does, it reduces inflammation. It does that by the cytokine system. Stops lipopolysaccharides. They're pro-inflammation. They change the intestinal permeability, so we're going to reduce those. That's what the probiotic does. What's the next thing it does? It reduces substance P. Substance P is also profoundly affects the amount of sebum you make. So therefore, in acne young people, if I get increased substance P and I use a probiotic, I can naturally reduce someone's sebum production. That's a good thing. It settles the skin. So there's lots of good things probiotics do, and the research is pretty conclusive now. Okay, what else are we going to do? What about probiotics and anti-aging? You know my passion about anti-aging. And yes, they've actually got some really good evidence now to say a probiotic, by improving your intestinal barrier, by improving your overall immune system and reducing inflammation, is a strong influence on anti-aging. Let's talk about a probiotic. You need one, guys. Okay, so think about that. What else? Let's put a simple gut or a management plan in place then. We've spoken about leaky skin. That is eczema, that is dermatitis. We're going to talk about the good gut guide. What are your triggers? What are your triggers to cause the inflammation? Is it your food? Well, find them out. It's no good when you say to me, I know when I have dairy, I get a rash in my finger. What else? Of course, we're going to remove the dairy, but what else are the triggers in your food? What about your environment? Do you have a cat or a dog or a dust mite, something that's niggling away at your immune system? Because you breathe it in, and when you breathe it in, it lowers your immune system. So we have to work out what your triggers are. Then we get a plan, and obviously a probiotic's a big one. A prebiotic is also just as important. Let's find those prebiotics in our diet. Do you know the Western Australian, or the common Australian diet, or the SAD Australian diet, the standard Australian diet, stands for SAD, SAD, does not have a fermentable food in it? Look at all the other cultures in the world. They have fermentable foods for one reason. They are wonderful prebiotics. But how can you get them? If you don't like fermentable foods, eat raw onions, eat raw leeks, and certainly garlic. They're wonderful sources of prebiotic. However, I do put a lot of my clients on a thing called inulin. It's a really safe chickpea-derived prebiotic, and it works wonderful with the probiotic. So think of the prebiotic with the probiotic. Okay, what about my next step? We've talked about feeding your skin from inside out. What about outside in? While your skin is healing inside your tummy, outside we can use some wonderful creams. Now, I love a wonderful product called a triple therapy cream. Why? Because it's got a great emollient. So when our skin gets dry, and now we're in winter, girls, so our skin's dry and we lose a lot of water and it gets dehydrated. Therefore, the barrier gets compromised and you may get an infection on top of that skin. So I want to seal that barrier, and I'll use a good emollient cream. The next thing in my emollient cream I'll use an antibacterial, a natural one, because we naturally have a lot of staph and strep in the environment, which then reside on the skin. And the last thing I want to do is use a healing agent, a natural anti-inflammatory. So please ask us about our triple combination eczema cream. It works like a treat. You use it a lot for the first week, like 5 times a day, less for the next 4 times, 3 times, once and off. So really it's a 4-week management plan. I hope you've got a lot out of this. That's your leaky skin. Let's heal it together. Ask us if you've got any questions, and ciao and good night.